Another photo shoot for Britain's tallest man, Chris Greener, is over. But 30 minutes later, Chris, who had been feeling tired all day, collapses in a nearby cafe, and paramedics are called. Chris has a gigantic heart, twice the size of an average person's. Its muscle is so thick that it doesn't always work properly. This is a serious side effect of acromegalic giantism. It's possible that the rhythm of Chris's heart has suddenly become irregular and may even have briefly stopped. Fortunately, Chris recovers within an hour.
Well, I just felt a bit iffy, I suppose. Yes, it's probably because maybe a long start, a long journey, a lot of standing, which I don't enjoy doing very much, and sat down and just started to feel got a bit warm and hot and sweating, and just felt like I was going to pass out.
But there is more bad news on the way.
Excuse me, are you the tallest man?
No, not in the world, I'm not.
300 miles north in Durham looms a 26-year-old giant who is about to take Chris's crown and end his long career as Britain's tallest man.
Exactly how tall are you? 7'7".
There's never really been a day in my life when somebody hasn't commented on my height. How many times a day do I say 7'7"? Well, if I had 10 pence for every time I said it, I wouldn't have to work again, because I'd probably be a millionaire.
Unlike Chris, Neil Fingleton's height may not be caused by a medical condition. He believes he's naturally tall. Neil hasn't walked into a UK clothes shop for the last 17 years. Forced to buy online, his inside leg is 11 inches longer than the average British man. "26-year-old Neil still lives at home with his mum, Christine.
Well, I'll show you around the house to let people know what it's like for somebody extremely tall living in just a normal size house that hasn't been, modified for my size. It's probably the last time I could walk through the door without, stooping was probably 9 at 6, 7 or 6, 8 at that age. And
yeah, be 9, 10, 11 at the latest.
It's like an obstacle course. You're just constantly avoiding things. When I was born, I was basically a stone in weight, 12 to 14 pounds, which is, kind of abnormal for a baby. Even 3 or 4 going to school, you're much bigger than the average kid. And I wasn't, 6, 7 years old, being over 6 feet, touching 7 feet at 10 and 11 years old.
He was growing at I would probably say at an abnormal rate, He seemed to be just really passing everybody by. And the school was quite, concerned as well the way he was growing. Because every morning he got up, he seemed a bit taller.
Right. Well, this is my room.
As you can see, it's like it.
It is like a tip. But as you can see, there's really no difference apart from an extra long bed. I had this bed made when I was 14 or 15. It's about 7'9" in length. It's long enough, but it's not wide enough.
Neil's clothing's been an absolute nightmare. When he was younger, to get clothes for him for school, trousers that were no way were going to be long enough. I used to have to buy them with the turn-ups that were on to let them down to make them normal length. Mm. Yeah.
I'd say the only side effect of being tall that I've had is probably stretch marks. So, just around just around your shoulder area. Across your back and your chest and everything. Your body's you're growing so fast and your body's trying to keep up with it.
Right, sausage, bacon, eggs, some tomatoes. How many slices of bacon do you want?
To feed a giant, you need giant-sized portions.
4, 5.
Just put the whole pack in.
Pack of sausages, bacon, pack of bacon, tomatoes, tin of beans, waffles, and that should be enough. As Neil's grown up over the years, you know, I've had to cook bigger meals, get bigger pans, add more and more.
Anything that's big, it's like you got to fuel it, feed it.
Fuel it. So it would be easy to fill a rocket.
Neil consumes around 8 calories a day. That's 3 times the amount of an average man.
I'm just going to put an egg on.
His food bills top at least £100 a week, and that's before he's had a social life.
I mean, a good night out, you're probably talking 75 to £100, just based on alcohol. And I don't mean that in like an alcoholic way. It's just that, you know, I'm bigger than everybody. For a merry night, probably 20, 25 pints, maybe. I don't want to sound like an alcoholic, but it's not. I'm not an alcoholic, but that's what it takes, somebody my size, to get a, you know, to be a bit merry.